Hey guys, I wanted to let you in on a little secret. I went over to my friend's house, James Wright. You know what he told me? He goes, Bob, you've done such a great job on YouTube this past few years. I'm going to let you go shopping in my basement. Really? You're going to let me go shopping in your basement? Yes, pick out anything you want as long as it's not brass. Okay, look what I got. I got his 8444 Union Pacific. He's gonna be pissed. Let's go take a look at it. Don't tell him. I'll let him find out. Hey ManCavians, this is Bob from the Bob's N Scale ManCave, and today we're doing a review of the KATO SD70ACe Union Pacific number 8444 or 8444. It is part of the Heritage Consist that usually runs around with 844 and all the water tenders and all the passenger car sets for the excursion set. I'm also going to be covering a Micro Trains line Kansas City 3-bay hopper that just got released this month of May 2016. As you may know, the Kansas City is hosting the N Scale Enthusiast Convention in June, at the end of June. Also, if you're into microtrains, the micro news is something that you probably want to get because you find out what's coming out that month. You may even see some pre-orders in here. In this episode of Microtrains News for May 2016, we have the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe, road number 1982. It's a heavyweight horse car. There's also some Burlington Northern Quincy Pullman cars, heavyweight diners, some more with a balloon roof, Canadian Pacific, also some CSX and CNO coal cars with coal loads. There's also this per diem series car. This is the fourth one in the series. And of course the Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey circus cars. You also have some steel plate loaded flat cars and some box cars and Ringling Brothers locomotive, and of course the Kansas City Southern 3-bay hopper that I'm going to be looking at today. Also, they've come out with corrugated containers in 53-foot size, so forth and so forth. They have a lot of things coming up. They have a NASA N Scale series coming out. That'll be coming out in September of this year, and you can start pre-ordering this month, at the end of the month, May 31st. So, if you're into microtrains, Micro News is where you can find out some of that information. Also check out their website for items to pre-order, and contact your local hobby store or Microtrains directly for those items. So, let's get down to this review, shall we? Okay, as you can see, this comparison is going to be against an HO and an N scale. This happens to be an MTH SD70ACe number 8444. just like this KATO N Scale one is right there. And now right off you can see the differences between both scales. One is definitely larger than the other, of course. And some of the things I do notice right off the bat is that the color is definitely different. The MTH is a lot more yellower on the front than the KATO. The KATO yellow orange UP color scheme is actually a little bit darker than this MTH one. You know, that could be just a better color matching by the company versus another company. Just could be even the lighting that they took their picture sample from, if they didn't get the actual paint color from the company to actually match it just right. A lot of differences and reasons why, but one is just preferences by the company, I guess. As you notice, the color of this PTC antenna on top is really white, and the KATO one is gray, and so is the beacon antenna right up, or the antenna right up there on the top. They chose to go with gray instead of white. Not sure why, but maybe it was easier, one of the two. Also, some of the things that stand out are, of course, you have not the same kind of detail on the KATO as you would on the HO scale. You have, you still have a snow plow in the front on both sides. You have some colored hosing right here. There's actually no hoses over here. Obvious thing that stands out to me is the white handrails for climbing up the step ladders, and on the KATO they're all gray. Everything is gray. Of course, you have real ditch lights on here, and you're going to have light tube lights on your KATO. The headlight will light up along with the number boards, and of course you've got windshield wipers, easily seen here and really hard to do in N scale. So as you can tell, the smaller the product, the less detail they can get to, because you're actually looking at it from a farther distance scale wise, and so you would probably not see those levels of detail as you would closer up in an HO or a G scale or an O scale. The bigger you get, the more detail you can put on it. Now, as you can see on the HO version, you have a lot more pieces of detail that are not on the N scale. One thing that stands out is, of course, the coloring. There's a lot more yellow, and you can see more of the fan grille detail on the inside. You have more of a cab look. You actually have somebody inside this cab here. The gauges here, you can actually see them. They're painted red, and pretty close detail between the two for where the labels are placed and some of the paint is placed. They pretty much have exactly the same decals in the right spot, so that's good. What I do notice is these decals right here are not on the N scale, but you can see the defined white steps, and the handrails stands out a lot more than the N scale does. So let's show that. As you can see, there isn't any labels right in here, and these aren't painted red. Handrails obviously are not white, or the steps, and you can always custom if you want them to be white and make it look more realistic. Now let's look at the top. And if you can see on the top, everything's just gray. You can't really see inside the exhaust fans here. All the fans are gray, 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 and so forth. And, a little bit of white, a dark gray and a light gray. On this one, however, black. You got black fans, silver fans. You can actually see the fans on the inside. It looks really, really more realistic. And you can also see through these areas right here where in the N scale you cannot see through the sides. And that's pretty much it. On the back side it looks pretty much identical. You see some silver around these reverse lights and not around on the N scale. Definitely the color is different. They look pretty close. You don't have one of these here, and you don't have it over here on the N scale. At least the MU hoses are all black. They kind of look similar. And of course the handrails are not white. But all in all, it looks like a very good looking model for what you're getting from KATO. And if you want to put DCC into it, Digitrax, you can use a DN163K1C, and that will fit into KATO SD40-2 Phase 2s and locomotives above 2009 year of manufacture. Okay, so there you have a comparison between an HO scale and an N scale Union Pacific SD70ACe number 8444. As before, I kind of mentioned the major differences between these two models is definitely the color. The HO scale being more yellowish color, where the N scale KATO is more of an orangey kind of look to it. This has got all plastic molded handrails. Nothing really moves on here except the wheels, and of course you better move, because those are what an engine is supposed to do, is move. It does light up, of course, and you can put a DCC decoder in there, or you can run this in DC mode. Very good representation for the most part. It looks just like the other one, paint-wise. Decals look just like it. Some of the decals are probably not in the same exact spot on both of them. Where some D-rings are for opening up doors and so forth. It kind of covers over the top of the stars on the HO model, but not on the N scale model. I'm sure you could find a wide variety of things that are different about the model. On the bottom, it looks pretty standard for a KATO model, the fuel tank and the trucks and everything. The truck detail, it actually kind of looks like there's a lot of extra detail on here. And let's see if I can get a close-up of that. As you can see, there's quite a bit of detail on the trucks, and it looks fairly good. For the most part, it's N scale. I do like KATO N scale products. They are very popular, and most of my stuff is KATO. And I've got some Athearn and some Atlas units, which I don't run a whole lot of, but This is a good model. The horns look identical between the two models, and that's pretty good. You know, it has all the parts, most of it, and it's just the color is not quite prototypically accurate in comparison, really. But you know, if they'd made it even better, it would cost more. And I really don't like paying more than I really have to, but you know, sometimes you just gotta be happy with what you have. Well, the MSRP for this KATO SD70ACe, you know, roughly around $130. I know you can get them for a lot cheaper. You can get them for around $90. Plus you put in a $28 decoder, and you know, you're down there at about $125 total if you put it in yourself. These are very strong pullers with a 5-pole motor, and it runs smooth, it runs quiet, very reliable, as most of the KATO engines are. Very reliable. So overall, I'm very happy with this model, and at the end of this video we'll have a run by on my layout. Okay, what we have here is a Microtrains 3-bay covered hopper with elongated hatches in the Kansas City Southern road name paint scheme. It is a current model, basically anything after 2007 to the present. It's out there on the railroad right now. It was built in April 2007 by American Railcar Industries of St. Charles, Missouri. And it was delivered in the new KCS Heritage paint scheme, and this particular car is owned by CIT Rail Resources, and so it's a very nice model of that Heritage paint scheme that they did. One thing I do notice is chock full of color. You have gray on the top, elongated hatches. The prototype, I'm not sure if the hatches are different colored or not. I'd have to find a picture of it. As you can see, it's all black. It's got a lot of striping on here and a lot of the labeling all along the bottom. You can see right off that the trucks are red, kind of look rust-like. The doors at the bottom are gray, and they stand out really well against the bottom and the sides. So it really jumps out at you as something unique on the railroad. If you could take a look at the bottom, it looks very nice. A little bit closer detail to the bottom right there. And you can see how red these wheels are. Take a look at the side. Here we go, get the glare off the side there for you. And the other side looks the same. Actually, I'm reading the side here, and it says, "Do not hammer on car." Yeah, do not hammer on car. I guess they don't want you to bang on it, make noise or something. Who knows? But there's probably a good reason for it. So, other than that, it's a very nice rail car. Well, the MSRP for this is $35.90. However, you can get that somewhere else for around $29. Seems a little high, but then again, it's a high quality item and it is probably limited run. So if you want to get one that looks just like it, you gotta go buy it. You can pick this up at your local hobby store and your favorite online retailers while supplies last. I know that sounds just like a commercial, doesn't it? But I am in no way getting paid for this. But all in all, I like this car, and let's go take a look at it on my railroad. Well, ManCavians, that's been my review of the KATO SD70ACe, number 8444, from the Union Pacific. And this is an excursion member of their team that travels around with steam locomotive 844 and some other engines as well, along with a museum car and a lot of the passenger cars that travel behind it. I also compared this to an MTH version of the SD70ACe made in HO scale. As you can tell, it's a lot larger. And this is a beautiful model, and I obtained this secretively from JLW 2000's secret collection. I'm hoping he doesn't find it before I can return it tomorrow. But I also did a review of this Kansas City Southern version of a 3-bay elongated hatch hopper. And it's a very nice Microtrains line product. It looks really, really nice. Should look good on anybody's layout. So if you like what you saw here today, go ahead and subscribe right here or over here, either one. Or you can follow me by liking my Facebook page, my Google Plus page, and following me on Twitter. I got the links down here below. And as always, if you subscribe, you will get notified that I've put up a new video or something like that, so you can take a look at product reviews, layout updates, how-tos. I've currently got a series on how to make a floating shelf railroad. So check out some of these other videos, and as always, ManCavians, happy model railroading, and stay off the tracks. Bye.